This is a vintage George Wolstenholme wedge razor. As you can see, it is close to a full wedge. It may be considered slightly less than a full wedge, but it's so close that it acts as a full wedge on the face and on the stone. And I've got the original box, and it's has the pipe brand. It also has this Wills and Fink label from San Francisco on the back. It's a Gold Rush blacksmith retailer of knives, guns, things like that. Now this razor has hardly been honed. It does have some stampings on here from the original company, and you can see them. Most of them are still there. And you might also notice that the width of the bevel is very narrow, and the width of the spine wear is very narrow also. This razor, judging from the width of the razor and where the stamps appear down near the edge, it has been used, it has been honed, but just not a great deal. And I'm going to use it on a couple concave razor hones that I created based on this curve as a piece of galvanized steel, and I mounted sandpaper, and I used silicon oxide to grind out two areas, one on each stone. I think you can see that this is concave here in this portion, and then this stone here is also concave right in this portion here in the middle. And that's where I'm going to be concentrating. I also have a Tomonaga that I'm going to be using. Okay, so what I'm going to do first is put this razor in the microscope, and I want you to see what the bevel looks like, along with some damage that's on the blade itself. And I've picked out an area here that has some damage. When I flip the switch, it converts from the microscope view to the computer view. This is rust on the bevel, and this is the base of the bevel right here. Beyond this is the bevel. The lower than this is the face of the razor. And it demonstrates, here's the face of the razor. It's more brightly polished, like a mirror, like the old razors were. When you get to the demarcation line between the bevel and the face of the razor, you can see it goes into a scratch pattern that creates the edge and the bevel. You can see how shallow the bevel on this razor is. It's about 1/10 of 1 millimeter wide. It's actually less than that. And I'm going to use this damaged area of the blade as my reference point. Let's see. Let's scroll over. Actually, it's not exactly the spot I wanted, which is just down the way. This is it right here. Okay, so that's a big nick out of the edge, and it's more than likely result of rust, this portion right here. If I scroll down, you'll see how shallow the bevel is. And then there's this unique pattern right here of rust that I'm going to be using as a reference point, a benchmark. I'll be going back to that to locate this nick in the edge that's right above it. That nick right there. Okay, so with that done, I'm going to take a photo of that nick. It's very deep. And then of that little mark down there of rust right there, so that we can reference that later on. That's a pitting, full pit of rust. Okay, we're going to pull the razor out and down to the stone here. And first I'm going to bevel set on this 1000 grit king. Just got water right there. And I'm going to use diagonal strokes so that the strokes, their scratches on the blade look diagonal. Okay, so that was about 20 strokes. I'm going to do the other side. Okay, I'll rinse off the blade. And I'm going to go back up to the, I'll get a cloth here. I'm going to go back up to the microscope and we'll go back to that reference point and we'll see how the bevel is looking after the 1000 grit king. Okay, here's that nick. Here's the 1000 grit scratch pattern. There's that nick right there. And I'll take a photo. That'll be photo number 1475. And we'll go down to that that mark, that piece of rust down there. And by doing this, you can see how wide the bevel has become during that bevel setting stage. Okay, that's the photo. Here is a previous photo of the rust spot before the bevel set. That's it right there. So you can see the edge of the bevel was running right through that rust mark. Okay, so back to the stone. And I'm next going to go to, I have a Japanese Tomonaga stone here. And I'm going to raise a slurry with a Tomonaga. And let's see if we can watch the slurry migrate down. Maybe there's a little bit more water migrate down into that little hollow area of the stone. Okay, I'll do straight on strokes now with the J-Nat, and then the direction of the strokes will contrast with the ones from the 1K. So that was 21 strokes. I'll do the other side. Okay, rinse off the blade and back up to the microscope. locate that spot of rust. And oh, I think it's gone. Evidently we got below that portion of the blade, of the edge where that spot of rust was. Let me take a photo. This is the nick in the blade. Okay, it's upside down, but I can turn that right side up eventually. Okay, here is where that's the rust spot from before, and here was that nick. I guess we've just refined the edge so much so that rust spot has been removed, and our bevel probably has proceeded down far enough so that we're below the original base of the bevel. Okay, so I'm a little bit lost words here. And it's crazy that that's upside down. It bugs the crap out of me. But okay, all I can do is go back to the sharpening bench. And we're going to do a series of 21 strokes on clear water now. Let me rinse off the stone. I've got a software glitch in my microscope so that some images are inverted, and I don't really know why. Okay, so those were all with straight-on strokes. Did I actually take a photo of the nick also? Yeah, I did. Okay, so now I'll do the opposite direction diagonal strokes. And they will be in contrast to the original 1K diagonal strokes. Okay, that's about 21. I'll wipe off the edge. Okay, here is that nick again. Damn it, it's upside down again. Just don't, there's the nick. And all I can do is take a photo and then I'll invert the photo when I when I assemble all the photos on Picasa. Okay, so anyhow, I'll take a photo here, and now it turned upside. You can see how much brighter the blade got, and those are our diagonal strokes with that Tomonaga stone, and we've refined the edge quite a bit, but it's obviously going to take quite a lot of grinding to get that to get down below that nick. But that's what I'm going to try to do for part 2.